So today we're looking at section 1.4, day 2, angle measures and bisectors. Let's start out with some vocabulary. The bisector of an angle. So the bisector of an angle is the ray with its endpoints at the vertex of the angle extending into the interior of the angle. The bisector separates the angle into two angles of congruent measure. Remember that bisect means cuts in half, just like our segment bisector. An angle bisector cuts the angle in half. So in this picture here, I have angle ABC. I have ray BD in the interior. So I could say that ray BD is angle bisector of angle ABC. Therefore, angle ABD is congruent to angle DBC. Therefore, the measure of angle ABD, AB equals the measure of angle DBC. Right? And so if we wanted to do our angle marks, there's one mark, they have the same. So our first example, given that CD, ray CD bisects angle ACB, so we can go ahead and mark. They got cut in half. Name the congruent angles. So I could say angle ACD is congruent to angle BCD. Okay. Number 2, given angle RSW is congruent to angle WST, so again, I'm going to put them marks. What can you conclude? If angle RSW and angle WST are both congruent, that means that ray SW bisects angle RST. Or you can say that ray SW is an angle bisector of angle RST. That's what we can conclude. And example number 3, find the indicated angle measures. If ray AC bisects LAG, so again, I know that got cut in half. Measure of angle LAG, so the entire thing was 64. Find the measure of LAC and the measure of angle CAG. So they got cut in half. So I know that the measure of angle LAG equals the measure of GAC times 2. Or I know that the measure of angle CAG equals half the measure of angle LAG. So LAG is 64, cut 64 in half, and I have 32. So I know that the measure of angle CAG, is equal to 32 degrees. The measure of angle LAC, they are congruent, right? It got bisected, so it's also, measure of angle LAC is also 32 degrees. Okay. Let's look at our next page. They tell me if ray TG bisects angle PTD, so I know that they got cut in half. Measure of angle PTG, this is 26 in here. Find the measure of angle PTD, and the measure of angle GTD. I know that PTG and GTD are congruent, so the measure of angle GTD is also 26 degrees. Measure of angle, the great big one, PTD, is 26 plus 26, or you could say 26 times 2. So that is 52 degrees. Number 4, they tell me that segment PB bisects angle B. So therefore, I know that angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. It says find x if measure of angle 1 is 4x plus 3 and measure of angle 2 is 3x plus 7. Again, I know that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 because of the bisect. So then I just set them equal. 4x plus 3 equals 3x plus 7. Get all of my x's on the same side, so subtract x over. So then I have x plus 3 equals 7, x equals 4. And that's all that they asked me to find, was to find x. No angle, no degree sign. Number 5, ray BX is the bisector of angle ABC. If you want to see a picture of that, we could go ahead and draw that. So I'm just going to draw angle ABC. Beta x, so bx bisects, so it means both of those are the same. ABC, so the entire thing is 5x plus 18, and cbx is 2x plus 12. Find the value of x. So I know that 2 of these equals the great big one because it got cut in half. So I can say 2 times 2x plus 12 is equal to 5x plus 18. That's one way that I can work this problem. The second example, I will show you the other way that I could have worked it. So now I want to distribute my 2. So I get 4x plus 24 equals 5x plus 18. Move my x over, so then I have 24 equals x plus 18. Subtract 18 from both sides, and I get x equals 6. So that was the first thing they asked me, find the value of x. Now to find the measure of angle ABC, I simply plug 6 in. So 5 times 6 plus 18. So 30 plus 18. The measure of angle ABC is 48 degrees. All right, so now, as promised on part B, let's look at a different way that we could have done that. So again, this time they tell me that the measure of angle ABC, the great big one, was 4x plus 16. They give me CBX as 3x plus 6. Again, find the value of x. Up here, we said, okay, the angle CBX times 2 equaled the big one. That's one way we can work the problem. Or we can start out with the big one and say half of that equals the angle CBX. So here I'm going to say 4x plus 16 cut in half equals 3x plus 6. So if I want to go ahead and cut this in half, 4x divided by 2, I have to cut everything in half. So 4x divided by 2 gets me 2x. 16 divided by 2 gets me plus 8 equals 3x plus 6. Get all of my x's on the same side, so then I get 8 equals x plus 6. Subtract 6, x equals 2. That one they just asked me to find the value of x. So you can work those problems either way. You can multiply the one angle by 2 to equal the big angle. You can take the big angle and cut it in half to equal the small angle. All right, the last problem. Measure of angle JKL equals 122. Okay. Again, if I want to see a picture of this, I could say JKL. M is in the interior somewhere. The measure of angle JKM, so JKM, this is 2x plus 12. Measure of angle MKL is 5x minus 16. Is asking, is KM the bisector? So now they're not telling me they want, if it is the bisector, they want to know, is it the bisector? Okay, so I can do angle addition postulate, add these two together. So 5x minus 16 plus 2x plus 12. I know by angle addition postulate, if I add those two together, I get the great big angle, which was 122. So let's go ahead, solve for x here. So 7x, negative 16, and a positive 12 gives me minus 4 equals 122. Trying to get x by itself, so add 4 to both sides. So 7x equals 126. And divide by 7, I get x is equal to 18. So now I can plug x equals 18 into both of these. So the measure of angle JKM is equal to 2 times 18 plus 12. So when I work that out, 2 times 18 and then add 12, we get 48 degrees. Now the measure of angle MKL is 5 times, instead of x, 18 minus 16. 5 times 18, and then subtract 16, we get 74 degrees. So we're looking at, was KM a bisector? If it was, that means it got the angle cut in half, that both of these are exactly the same. I got one to be 48, a one to be 74. So I could say that ray KM is not the bisector of angle LKJ because the measure of angle JKM does not equal the measure of angle MKL, or I could say angle JKM is not congruent to angle MKL. If I had gotten that they were both the same thing, then my answer would have been yes, it is a bisector. So that's all that you do in order to find out if you have an angle bisector. That is 1.4, day 2. Let me know if you have any questions.